Hey everyone, welcome back to the final chapter of our AI adventure. We started with a simple ChatGPT clone running locally for free. Then we added web search to keep it current. But what if it could be made smarter, only searching the web when it really needs to? Today in part 3, we are unveiling the ultimate version of our open source chatbot with Streamlit, Ollama and DuckDuckGo. It is fast, intelligent and still 100% free. Stick around, I'll walk you through the upgrades, test it live and wrap up this series with a bang. Let's recap. Part 1 gave us a local AI chatbot with no subscription, all yours. Part 2 added web search so it could handle current events. But it searched every time, even for simple stuff like what's 2 plus 2. Now in version 3 we have made it smart. It checks if it needs the web first, saving the time and keeping answers sharp. Plus we have optimized the Docker setup for a smoother ride. If you have followed along, you have got Docker, Streamlit and Ollama ready. We are still using DuckDuckGo search, so your requirements.txt should have that from last time. All codes in the description. Let's jump into the final polish. So you can see our previous code. So this is version 1, this is version 2 and this is the new latest version 3. Here is the upgraded app.py. So this is similar to the last one, but we made some changes in this. So first in this particular section where the session history is managed, you see I added one section called the source. So this will tell you where the response is coming from, whether it is from the LLM or whether it is using web search, etc. The big win is this is uncertain function. So this is the function. What this function will do is it will get the user prompt and it will get the LLM response, and this function will identify whether the response given by LLM is complete or whether it is incomplete because of its knowledge cutoff. So this is the prompt that we are using. So it is actually calculating the current year and it is saying say today is this year, and given the question and the response, it is identifying itself whether this requires information beyond its knowledge cutoff date, and we are asking it to answer with a simple yes or no, and based on that we are performing the operation. It streams an initial response and it checks the response and only grabs the web data when needed. So only when it is uncertain about the response, it is going for the web search, as you can see here, and is adding the web search as the search context, and it is also specifying the source. See this is where it is specifying the source as LLM and web search. And if it is certain about the response, it will be going to the else part where it will be using the response that was generated by the LLM as it is, and will add the source as LLM only. Now our Docker file. So our Docker file got a glow up too. So we already have Llama 3 model pre-installed during the build, so there is no waiting at runtime, and it is lean. It only have the necessary items, and here I added an option of configurable port. So you will be able to specify the port and you will be able to use those ports when the application actually runs. So this is efficiency for the win. Let's fire it up. So we need to rebuild the Docker image, but before that we need to first go to the correct directory. So after cloning the repository, you have to cd into the local GPT folder, and then you have to cd into the v3 folder, which will contain our latest changes. In order to rebuild the Docker image, same old docker build command. So we will use docker build -t local gpt -demo:v3 and we'll specify the build context as dot. So now it will perform the build operation, and here in my case it is using everything from cache. If we are running it for the first time, it will be taking some time for the build to be complete. So here it is using all the cache data. Okay, so now that our image is ready, let's create the container using the docker run command. So docker run -p, we'll use 8503 as the port, and we'll specify local gpt-demo:\v3 as the image. Okay, so now our app is ready. So now if you want to see the steps, you will be able to see in the step.txt. There you will be able to see the v3 section, which will contain the steps to run the version 3 of our application. Now, since our application or the container is running, let's go ahead and browse it or access it. So we'll go to the browser, we'll browse localhost:8503 and Ola. This is our application. So now let's do the first test. What is the capital of France? So now remember, this is a query which doesn't require or shouldn't require any web search, and see this, that is what is happening. So the capital of France is Paris, that is the correct answer, and the source, see this, it is LLM only. So no web search, instant answer from the LLM. Now let's ask some current information that we want. So who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2024? So this should be beyond the knowledge cutoff of our local LLM, and here you can see that is the response that we are getting. So let's see what happens once it generates the response. Yeah, and see this one, once it finds out that the response is not relevant because of the lack of current knowledge, it is searching the web because it identified that the local knowledge is insufficient. So now it is searching the web using our DuckDuckGo search. It will get the most recent, or it will get the top 3 result, and now here you can see the response is generated, which is the correct response, and here we are getting the correct response, and you can see the source as LLM and web search. So what happens here is it realizes that it is out of date, searches the web and delivers a fresh response, and you will be able to see the source caption to see whether it is using LLM only or whether it is web boosted. Okay, so this thing's got brains and speed. So this is the ChatGPT clone you have been waiting for, free, local and smart enough to know when it needs the web. It's private, customizable and now efficient, no wasted searches. You have got a full blueprint to understand AI chatbots from scratch to pro. Take it, tweak it, make it yours. So that's a wrap on our series. If you have enjoyed building this with me, smash that like button, subscribe and grab the final code below. Tell me in the comments what's next for your AI. More features, a new model. I'll see you in the next adventure. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.